Welcome back to Scope360, ladies and gentlemen. You're joining Nasir Uddin today, and in our studio we have our prominent lawyer, Mr. Ahmad Khan, who is talking about immigration. And before we went for a break, we talked about various options for individuals to come in. And one thing Ahmad had mentioned was he's expert in all areas, but his niche that they're mostly focused on is what is called business immigration. Now, business immigration is different than the individual person who wants to come into Canada immigration. So Ahmad is going to talk about what is business immigration. So,
sure. Thank you, Nasir, for allowing me to express what exactly is business immigration.
Yeah.
Because not many lawyers you'll find out that practice business immigration. So business immigration is essentially also known as entrepreneurship,
okay,
investor stream, and in Canada. आपके 10 provinces हैं, right?
Yeah.
And 3 territories.
Yeah.
So each province has its own slightly custom-tailored business immigration program.
Okay.
Right? So for example, let's take Quebec as an example. Quebec में at least आपकी net worth $2 million Canadian होनी चाहिए before you even think of applying to business immigration in Quebec. From that $2 million Canadian dollars, आप एक क्यूबेक गवर्नमेंट के साथ एग्रीमेंट साइन करते हैं कि आप मिनिमम 1.2 मिलियन कैनेडियन डॉलर्स इन्वेस्ट करेंगे and then you sign this agreement for 5 years.
So where do you go from 2 million to 1.2 million?
So 2 million should be your net worth.
Okay, 2 million is your net worth, okay?
Or minimum investment आपने
minimum, okay.
1.2
million you have to have it.
के साथ, right? And then after 5 years, they will return that seed money, $1.2 million to
okay.
you without any interest. As long as you've met your obligations, undertakings, right? आपको PR or Canadian citizenship
Okay, so अभी मुझे बताएं, जैसे for example, I don't know this, and you're the expert in this. So does that mean that you use the Quebec government as an example? So does that mean that the Quebec government is going to own my money for, let's just say, 1.2? Hold on to it.
Hold on to 1 point. They are investing that money on your behalf.
Okay.
Right? It's a win-win situation,
okay.
right? And you get the PR. They get your 1.2 million for 5 years, and they invest on your behalf, right? So once that period term is over, 30 days के बाद, if you've fulfilled all your obligations, they give back your 1.2 million.
ये मुझे तसल्ली चाहिए थी, मुझे ये नहीं चाहिए था कि हमारे जो ऑडियंस देख रहे हैं बोले अरे यार मेरे 1.2 मिलियन सरकार वो उन्हें कब्जा कर लिया और क्या कहते हैं मेरे पास तो कुछ है नहीं.
Hold on, this was the most easiest business immigration. So ये example Quebec की, क्योंकि most of the people, it can be very daunting for them to come to Canada, a new country, इतना पैसा लेके आना और right उसके बाद actively business में भी involved होना. So this is a very passive example कि आप silently आप site पे passively अपना पैसा दे देते हैं. Government invest करती है and then you go about your life, right? Let's now delve down to different other programs.
Okay.
I brought this list so that I'm not quoting off the top of my head.
So just to conclude, so on the business side, so you have to have, so back home, whichever country you live in, you have to have monetary funds. You have to make sure that in your bank account you have certain amount of monetary funds that are available, that are required, a minimum required as per the government, the provincial government standards. So like you use Quebec as example, Ontario may be different.
Exactly. So briefly, I'll give you an overview.
Okay.
So the most important factor is obviously your net worth.
Yes.
आपके assets कितने?
Yeah.
And then you can't just say कि मेरे पास इतने assets हैं. It has to be independently verified as well.
Okay.
Right? Right? Because they want to make sure they were legit. Legit.
Yeah.
Tax pay किया आपने उन पे और दूसरा ये कि वो reported income है, right?
Yeah.
It's not
no money laundering, no कोई चोरी का
laundering, right?
Yeah, no hate petty and all that stuff.
Black money. Yeah. Exactly. So let's say British Columbia में आपकी minimum net worth around 600,000 Canadian होनी चाहिए, right? उसके बाद उनके certain factors हैं कि business minimum आपका या ownership में या business management में certain experience होना चाहिए, right? Then you have to have your business incorporation, papers from your country. Each country has different requirements as well, right? So it's too much overwhelming information, but I'm just giving you an overview, right? उसके बाद आप apply करते हैं expression of interest. अगर आप certain net worth match कर रहे हैं, ठीक है? उसके बाद फिर आप अगर उनकी क्राइटेरिया पे मैच करते हैं उस प्रोविंस के, अगेन उसमें भी लैंग्वेज आ जाती है। आपको जितनी आपकी एक सर्टेन रेंज में एज होती है, आपको उसके पॉइंट्स मिलते हैं। लैंग्वेज अगर स्पाउस का और आपका अच्छा जितना भी हायर आइल्स का स्कोर है उसमें ऑब्वियसली ज़्यादा पॉइंट्स हैं। बिजनेस प्लान, आप आके इधर नया बिजनेस ले रहे हैं या आपको एग्जिस्टिंग फ्रेंचाइज खरीद रहे हैं, राइट? सो अगेन इफ यू आर कमिंग अप विद अ न्यू आइडिया, दैट बिजनेस प्लान has to meet certain expectations, right? कि आप let's say इधर आके you're not coming, for just Western Union और money आप बैठे हैं बस, आप loan कर रहे हैं. There are certain exceptions. They won't let you do, certain businesses. Real estate is another example. आप अगर कोई creative idea लेके आते हैं, let's say कि अगर आपने एक दुकान customize your पाकिस्तानी इंडियन ड्रेसेस की, सूट्स की बुटीक खोलनी है, सो ऑब्वियसली दैट इज डिफिकल्ट फॉर अ लोकल कैनेडियन और कैनेडियन पीआर टू हैव दैट जॉब. सो अगर आप अपने कल्चर को रिप्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं, कोई ऐसा जॉब लेके आ रहे हैं इंपोर्ट एक्सपोर्ट का
जो यूनिक जो डिफरेंट जो यहाँ पे
डिमांड को या कोई शॉर्टेज को, सो द वीजा ऑफिसर विल गो थ्रू योर बिजनेस प्लान. या आप एग्जिस्टिंग को फ्रेंचाइज लेते हैं, आते हैं, एक्सप्लोरेटरी विजिट करते हैं, एमओयू उनके साथ साइन करते हैं. Then again, you bring that net worth जो कि independently verify होगी KPMG या कोई भी accounting firm से, right? And then obviously अगर आपका business plan succeed करता है, you go through that interview and then you come for 1 or 2 years, you stay in that province, you make money and then they'll recommend you for the PR, right?
And obviously your firm, the expertise that you guys have, potential client, they will contact you and you will go through the whole process with them and get them all set up, everything. Now, we're talking about various provinces. Now, you're based out of Ontario here, but you have provinces all across Canada, correct?
All across Canada.
Okay, so which other province do you want to tell our audiences that you have offices in?
Right. So, right now, our office is in Brampton, Mississauga, and we have our, partners representing in Scarborough, in Milton as well. So we are covering GTA area.
Right.
But internationally, I do have representatives in Lahore, in Faisalabad. I do have representatives in Dubai, and obviously some representatives in Hong Kong and South Korea as well. And immigration is one such beautiful thing which, combines people from different walks of life. Because it's one common ground if people want to come to Canada.
Yeah.
Which is thankfully, 365 days a year, 24/7. We lived in a blessed country, land of opportunities.
Yeah.
यहाँ लोग बहुत आना चाह रहे हैं. There's
Yeah.
huge demand, right?
Yeah.
Even after pandemic. So that's why, these different representatives help us to shortlist the good candidates, right? Because unfortunately, most of them, they don't, qualify. They're not eligible. कोई लैंग्वेज से, कोई फाइनेंस नहीं है उनके पास, है ना, फंड्स नहीं है, किसी के पास एजुकेशन क्रेडेंशियल्स नहीं है, किसी के प्रायर बहुत ज़्यादा रिफ्यूजल है, राइट? सो दैट्स इट्स अ कंप्लीट पैकेज. बिकॉज एट द एंड ऑफ द डे वीज़ा ऑफिसर रूल ऑफ थंब इज कि ये आके ऐसे स्किल्स या ऐसा हमारे कंट्री में एसेट्स लेके आ रहे हैं कि ये हमारे इकोनॉमिक सिस्टम में they'll contribute.
Absolutely.
They don't want anyone who'll come.
A freeloader. They don't want a freeloader.
Freeloader. Freeloader.
Yeah.
कि जो आके अपनी पूरी फैमिली के साथ अपने relatives को बुला ले और Canadian economic system पे burden बन जाए, right?
Yeah.
So coming back to business immigration as well. Business immigration में भी again the whole concept is कि हमारे मुल्क में कितनी नई जॉब्स लेके आएंगे, कैसे बिजनेस को ग्रो करेंगे, इकोनॉमी को कैसे ग्रो करेंगे, राइट? सो राइट नाउ कुछ सक्सेसफुल कैंडिडेट्स जो आए हैं नोवा स्कोशिया में, PEI प्रिंस एडवर्ड आइलैंड में, न्यू ब्रंसविक में, उनकी चूंकि थोड़ी सी नेटवर्थ इंडिविजुअल की या एसेट्स की रिक्वायरमेंट थोड़ी कम है, राइट? सो पीपल फाइंड के मे बी यहाँ रास्ते ईजी हैं कंपेयर टू ओंटारियो. ओंटारियो की मिनिमम रिक्वायरमेंट नेटवर्थ की अराउंड 3 मिलियन है एसेट्स की. सो इट्स स्लाइटली डिफिकल्ट एंड नॉट एवरीवन has that luxury and privilege to come to Ontario.
Excellent. So obviously a lot of information on that, and we're going to talk about another immigration protocol that, or I guess entry that people get into after a break. But that's excellent. And you mentioned a lot of the offices you have all around the world. So potential clients that are here who have relatives back home, Faisalabad, Islamabad, Lahore, and all these other places you mentioned, they could contact you. Sure. You would connect them with the offices over there and interact. That is excellent. So I'm so glad, and it's so good because you're giving so much information. And whenever I talk to lawyers or accountants or everything, I always want to get as much information, pick their brains. So it's like layman's term. Yes. Not don't give me the theoretical book version, the encyclopedia. Then I'm like, what did you say? What did you say? Right? Exactly. So excellent. Yeah. So we're going to talk about now. What is the other? I guess, way of coming into Canada that we want to talk about?
I mean, we have, TRV, temporary resident visa. We have, for some underprivileged people who are persecuted in their countries.
Okay, so we're going to hold on that.
Yes, sure.
Because we want to take a break. We want to give our audience who are watching this amazing, informative show to have a bathroom break, subscribe to our 360 Scope channel, make a comment, have a coffee, have a chai, have a water, but make sure to come back because we have a great show for you today with Ahmad Khan, who's talking about immigration. So come right back.